Hello everyone. Today we're going to look at a classic statics problem, that of the sliding ladder. Consider a ladder leaned up against a wall. The question is, how far can you go up the ladder before the ladder will slide out from under you? Now clearly that's going to depend on the angle the ladder makes with the wall, the coefficient of friction of the ladder, and how much weight is on the ladder pulling downwards. So here we have Harry. Harry is climbing up this ladder, which is 4 meters long. That ladder makes an angle of 72 degrees with the floor. Harry has a weight of 50 newtons. The ladder itself weighs 80 newtons, and the coefficient of friction with the floor is 0.12. So Harry has a weight of 50 newtons and climbs the ladder, which has a weight of 80 newtons. The ladder has a coefficient of friction with a floor of 0.12. There is no friction with the wall. How far along the ladder can Harry climb without causing the ladder to slip? That is, what is this distance d that once Harry gets to that point along the ladder, the weight and will cause enough torque to get the ladder to slide? So this is a statics problem. That is, in order to keep this ladder stationary, I want to make sure that, well, first, I want to make sure that the sum of the torques is equal to 0. That is, I want no rotation. But that's going to be not enough to solve the problem. We're also going to need to look at the sum of the forces in the horizontal direction, the x direction, and the sum of the forces in the vertical or y direction. These must also add up to 0 because I want no translation. That is, I want no linear motion as well as no rotation. So let's get going and let's set it up. So as with most problems in physics, I'm going to need a good force diagram. So let's start with the weights of Harry and the ladder. I know that Harry is producing a downward weight, a downward force of 50 newtons. Now, the weight of the ladder is going to be applied midway along the ladder's length. So the midpoint of the ladder is about there. So I know the force of the ladder is equal to 80 newtons. Now, I also know that there's normal forces involved. I know the floor must make a normal force. Let's call that Fn1. But the ladder's leaning against the wall, so there has to also be a normal force perpendicular to the wall. Let's call that Fn2. And finally, since the ladder is not sliding, there needs to be a force of friction. Now, the bottom of this ladder, if it falls, would slide to the left. That means the force of friction must be pointing to the right. And I make a note that that force of friction must be equal to the coefficient of friction times the normal force between the ladder and the floor. So there's my force diagram. Now, with any torque problem, choosing a pivot can make my life easier. So I'm going to choose a pivot here at the floor. There are two forces here with the floor, the normal force and the force of friction. By putting my pivot point there, both these forces pass through the pivot point, which means they have no perpendicular distance to the pivot, which means they won't contribute to the torque equation. But I do have three forces to account for. Now, I have to be careful as I write the torque equation as to the direction of the torques. So I know the sum of the torques must be adding up to 0. So let's go from top to bottom. Now, this top force, Fn2, this normal force with the wall is pulling the ladder in such a way that it would cause a counterclockwise rotation. That means that this is going to be a positive torque. Now, I'm going to use the line of action method to find these torques. So I'm going to place a line of action through Fn2, and then I'm going to look at the perpendicular distance between that line of action and the pivot. Now, that's this distance here. Now, I know this angle is 72 degrees. By geometry, this must be the same angle here. So the first thing I note is that the first part of my torque is going to be that second normal force times this perpendicular distance. Well, the ladder is my hypotenuse, that's length L, and that's the opposite side, so that's sine of 72 degrees. So this is for Fn2 L sine 72 degrees because my angle is 72. All right, there's the first one. Now, moving down, I'll consider the Harry's push against the ladder. And again, I will drop my perpendicular line of action through that force. And I see here that the perpendicular distance with the pivot is along the ground. So again, that angle is 72 degrees. Now, this distance along the ladder is the distance D that we're trying to find. So here, my hypotenuse is D, and I'm going to be looking at cosine. Now, Harry is going to cause a clockwise rotation of the ladder, so that's a negative torque. So the next part of my torque equation is negative. So I have minus the force of Harry times the distance D times cosine of 72 degrees. Well, continuing, finally, the last force is the force of the ladder, also causing the ladder to rotate clockwise, so a negative torque. But the hypotenuse now will be half the length of the ladder. So I can add that to my torque equation, minus the force of the ladder times L over 2 times cosine 72 degrees. Now, taking a quick inventory, I know the length of the ladder. I know the force of the ladder, the weight of the ladder, and the force of Harry. I do not know this distance D, nor do I know this normal force. I'm solving for the distance that Harry is going along the ladder, which means I need to find that normal force with the wall. Now, I'm going to rearrange this a little bit before we start complicating things. Since I'm looking for the distance D, I'm going to pull this torque over to the other side. And I get the force of Harry times distance D times cosine 72 degrees equals the second normal force times the length of the ladder times sine of 72 degrees minus the weight of the ladder times half the length of the ladder times cosine of 72 degrees. All right, so how do I find the second normal force? Well, I see that the normal force is in the horizontal or x direction. There are only two forces in the horizontal direction. So now I'll take a look at the sum of the forces in the x direction. Because they have to add 0, that implies that the second normal force must be equal to the force of friction, which is equal to the coefficient of friction times the first normal force. The only problem is I also do not know this first normal force. Well, that means I need to look at the sum of the forces in the y direction. They must also add up to 0. So I have three forces in the vertical direction. I have the normal force with the floor and the two weights. Because they add up to 0, that means that the normal force with the floor must be equal to the weight of Harry plus the weight of the ladder. That means that the ladder was 80 newtons, Harry was 50. That means the normal force with the floor must be equal to 130 newtons. All right, well, that means then that, continue on with that, since the force of friction is mu times that first normal force, that's going to be equal to 0.12 times 130 newtons. That is going to be 15.6 newtons. And since the force of friction equals Fn2, that force, normal force, is also 15.6 newtons. And now we are finally ready to solve, but we're running out of room, so let's scroll down. So Harry's weight, the torque from Harry, is equal to the force of Harry times his distance along this ladder D. And again, his perpendicular distance, that his weight was equal to the cosine of that angle. So cosine of 72 degrees. And we saw that this has to be equal to the normal force with the wall. Times the length of the ladder times sine of 72 degrees. Minus the weight of the ladder times half the length of the ladder times cosine 72 degrees, sorry. We'll make note to make the calculations easier that the sine of 72 degrees is equal to 0.951, and the cosine of 72 degrees is equal to 0.309. So let us solve. So solving for D, on the top of this equation, I have the second normal force, which we saw was 15.6 newtons. Times the length of the ladder, which is 4 meters, times the sine of 72, which is 0.951, minus the weight of the ladder, which was 80 newtons, times half the length of the ladder, which is 2 meters, times cosine of 72. And I'm going to have to divide by the weight of Harry, which was 50 newtons, times the cosine of 72, which is 0.309. And let me clean this up too, get rid of that. And this is also 0.309. So let's calculate this. To make things, we need to be careful, so I'm going to do each group of terms separately. So that's 15.6 times 4 times 0.951. So this group of term here works out to be 59.3. This group here works out to be 49.4. And down below, this is going to be 15.5. So Harry's not going to have to worry here. This distance D is going to be... So I'm going to have, actually he does have to worry. So I have 59.3 minus 49.4. That's 9.9. So I have 9.9 meters divided by 15.5 meters. So 9.9 divided by 15.5. That is 0.64 meters, thereabouts. So this is not a safe situation for Harry. If Harry barely goes up the first couple of rungs, as soon as he passes 0.64 meters, his and the ladder's weight will be enough to cause the ladder to fall. That means he really has to worry about this coefficient of friction. That's a pretty low coefficient of friction. So you want a higher coefficient of friction to keep the ladder from rotating. So there you go. There's a lot of details in a problem like this. But follow along step by step and be careful as you write out your math. And we solve them the same as we do any other static problems. See ya.